The first thing that I'll bring up is what we just talked about. You got to have a commitment to run your real estate business like a business. And what does that mean? That simply means that you got to get up out of bed every day and you got to have a schedule and a routine. It starts with the schedule. Prospecting is great, but you know what's more important, in my opinion? Tracking and measuring. If you're running your business like a business and you're not tracking the business, you're not running like a business.
Hey everyone, I'm Shawna Martinez and welcome back to Grounds for Success with Espresso Agent. And today we have a very special guest. It's somebody that keeps me in line, which is a full-time job, and has helped me build my business into what it is today and what it continues to be. So just want to say welcome my coach, Chris Fox. He's a Tom Ferry coach. Chris, tell us a little bit about yourself so that people who don't know you can know a little bit more about you.
Yeah, absolutely. Thanks for having me, Shawna. Again, my name is Chris Fox. I'm a business coach with Tom Ferry International, your coach. Been doing coaching for about 10 years now. Been in the real estate industry about 17 and a half years, and it's been an exciting 17 years in real estate.
Wow.
We've had to pivot a lot. We've had to make maneuvers that we never thought we'd imagine in the real estate industry. But I got 3 little kiddos at home. That's my inspiration every day, all of which were foster kids that we gave their forever home. And that's what my inspiration is every day, to get up and make things happen for everybody else.
I love that. I love that. So we're going to dive right in. So you are a broker and own a brokerage, and you're in 2 states, right?
3 states currently.
3 states.
So Kentucky, Indiana, and Florida. And it keeps me busy. That's for sure.
Yes. Okay, perfect. So you have a lot of experience with building teams and all of that kind of stuff and things that they need to be doing. So right now, what are your thoughts? What do you think agents should be doing right now in this market to get more transactions in a market that has had a downturn of transactions for the last 12 months?
Yeah, that's a great question, Shawna. Number one, you got to have a plan, right? We've had to pivot yet again. You know, this is a presidential election year. We're like 8 days away from the presidential election.
Thank God.
Interest rates have been all over the place. You know, inventory counts have been all over the place. What worked last year and the year before and the year before that isn't going to work in 2025.
That's right.
And I can tell you that if you're running your business like a business, you will succeed in 2025. If you're running it haphazardly as a hobby, you better start looking for a new job when it comes to 2025, because there's going to be new creative ways in which we find business and develop business. And I think today we'll talk a little bit about how to prospect in 2025 and win clients and make the income that you want to make. But right now it's a pivot again, right? We've got 8 days till this presidential election happens, and you got to run a business like a business.
Agreed. So it's interesting you brought that up, because when I signed on with Tom Ferry Coaching, and this is not a plug for Tom Ferry Coaching, I think any business coach would do better than you going by yourself. But for me, I was lucky enough to get in with the Tom Ferry ecosystem, and that's been just life-changing. But the first event I went to was Blueprint, which they still had Blueprint at the time. And one of the questions he asked, and I was going from a part-time agent to a full-time agent, and one of the first questions he asked was, "Are you interested? Or are you committed?" And that was the first time that I had like a light bulb moment where I realized, wait a second, like I have been running this kind of like a hobby because I was doing it part-time. But then when I went all into real estate, I was like, okay, I am super committed to this. We're all in. Now I would say I'm obsessed with my business, with the numbers. At the end of the day, it's all a numbers game, if you didn't know. But the other thing that you talked about was running it like a business. And I think that's a mistake that a lot of agents make, is they get their license and they don't understand that they are an entrepreneur. You are a business owner. Your job every day is to get up and get more business. And if you don't have that mindset, that's probably why your transaction count is down. Because even, in the last 12 months, we've had the lowest transaction count that we've had in a very long time. And my transaction count is up, my GCI is up. And that I can only say it's because I've learned to pivot with the help of my coach. So what are some things that agents should be doing when you talk about pivoting? What are some things that they should be focusing on in their business?
Yeah, the first thing that I'll bring up is what we just talked about. You got to have a commitment to run your real estate business like a business.
Yep.
And what does that mean? That simply means that you got to get up out of bed every day, and you got to have a schedule.
A good routine.
A routine, right? It starts with the schedule. If you're not getting out of bed till 9 or 10 o'clock and you don't get your day started till about 11, then you're having lunch, and then by 4 o'clock, you got to pick up the kids from school. You're not going to make it in 2025.
That's right.
And Shawna, you brought it up. Are you interested, or you're committed? Someone that's committed is going to have a plan and a schedule, and they're going to follow it, right? You have to have a reason why you get up every day, right? Everybody says, oh, I want to make money. Well, great, but that's not a big enough reason.
Yeah.
Right. And I said this earlier when we got on the call. My reason to get up every day is my 3 kids,
Mm-hmm.
because I know I have an obligation. I am the breadwinner of my family.
Yep.
And if I don't
Same.
do the things that I need to do to be successful, those kids get impacted, and I won't allow that to happen.
Yeah.
So let me dig into that just a second, right? And one of the things that you've got to realize, number one, is this. Everybody says you got to have a schedule.
Yes.
That's great. We can all create a schedule. We can get an
to
Excel
it.
spreadsheet and we can create it, but you got to stick to it,
Yeah.
right?
That's what I struggle a lot with is I'm like, well, I did all this work, but it's not in my calendar. And so I'm getting better at that. But even I still struggle.
Listen, Shawna, there's nobody that's perfect with their schedule, right? We're all going to have to, again, I keep using the word pivot, but we have to pivot every day, right? Things come up and we got to twist it. But the one thing that I'll remind you is this. If you have to erase something off your schedule, you got to replace it.
Mm-hmm.
And 9 times out of 10, the one thing that is prospecting.
Yeah.
Right?
I was going to ask, what are the things in the schedule that should be there?
And I'll tell you, there's 3 things that are my 3 caveats that every agent has to have on their schedule. Can you imagine what those 3 things might be, Shawna?
Prospecting for sure.
Prospecting.
Getting with your past clients.
Okay. Kind of. Appointments. Number 2, right?
And number 3 would be working on your business.
You're right. That's it. Okay. 100%, right?
See, I'm learning.
3 things, guys. It's simple, right? If you have these 3 things on your schedule every day, you're going to succeed. First, you got to prospect, because if you don't prospect, you ain't got nothing in the pipeline. Number 2, you got to go on appointments. If we don't go on appointments, we don't got a chance at securing any business.
That's really all I focus on is appointments.
100%, because if we don't have a business, right? Yeah. It's kind of like, if we own a grocery store, if we didn't have inventory on the shelves, we don't have a business, right?
That's right.
For us in real estate, if we don't prospect, we don't find the customers, right? If we don't go on appointments, we don't have any inventory to sell. And if we don't work on the business, which is number 3, we're not going to get anything else done, right? Yeah. And a lot of people slip up on number 3, working on the business.
Because they're in it.
They're in their business 100%, but there's
a difference between being in your business versus working on your business.
100%. So when I think about I'm working in my business, I'm out showing houses, right? I'm out listing homes. But the part that gets us those things is working on the business, right?
Yeah.
When we think about working on the business, Shawna, if I say, Shawna, what are you doing today to work on your business? What would you tell me?
I would go through the list of things that are on my Trello board.
100%. And I will tell you, right? In 2024 and 2025, one of the biggest things that we have to work on our business is marketing and social media.
Yes.
Right?
100%. I tell agents all the time, because they reach out to me all the time and they say, I just don't have any business. I don't know. How are you doing it? And I'm like, I know you're looking for a magic bullet, something you can pay for that's going to move the needle in your business. And maybe it is, but it's going to be very, very expensive. But more importantly, it's just about doing the little things that you need to in your business every day. If you're not wanting to be on social media, in my opinion, I feel like that's the reason why you're being left behind, and it's not going to get any better. If you don't embrace video, if you don't embrace being on social media, like, how are people supposed to know who you are? Agents have a problem of thinking they can just get their license and all of a sudden all this business is going to show up on their doorstep. And I can tell you right now, that's not going to happen. We have over 1.5 million, I think even more than that, agents in the US right now. And more than half of them haven't sold one home this year. And I would say the biggest thing that probably sets those people apart are you being present on social media where people can find you? Because a lot of people are not.
Yeah. But there's a caveat to that. It's great to be visible. It's great to be seen on social media, but we got to act on that.
Yes. And is it bringing you results? Because we're in the generation where everybody wants to go viral. Everybody wants to be a trendsetter. Everybody wants to be, an influencer. And that's all good and great. But I can tell you this, and I've said this multiple times, and I will stand on this hill till I die, is that it doesn't matter how many people are seeing your video. It matters if the right people are seeing your video and if what you're putting out is making people want to transact with you. Yep. Because I've had videos that have gotten 1.5 million views and not got one deal from it. But my TikTok views are average of like 300 on my first time home buyer series. And I've already closed 3 deals just from that. And I haven't even posted anymore on my TikTok. So reminder for me to add on my Trello board that I have to post more on my TikTok. That's the thing, is like, look where things are working for you and where they're not. And that will help you pivot in your business as well. Yeah.
It goes back to one word, and that one word is value.
Yes.
Right. If you're not providing value to the consumer, they're tuning you out. Right. Because just like you said, there's millions of real estate agents out there. Why should they choose you? Yep. What are you going to do to help them?
That's right.
And we just talked about you're either interested or you're committed, right? We talked about whether you're running your business like a business or you're running it like a hobby.
That's right.
So a lot of people are like, okay, I'm running it like a business, Chris. What do I got to do? What's the secret sauce? Right. And it goes back to having a plan, right?
Yes.
We all know that old adage, fail to plan, plan to fail.
Correct.
Right. And one of the number one things that when people come into coaching as a new client to me, they say, Chris, what do I need to do? And I ask you, what is your plan? Right. How are you going to find the business? What are those key indicators? What are those key lead sources that are going to run your business? And let's find some SOPs that we can follow to generate the business.
So you said the key word. You said, what are the lead sources that you're going to be working? So talking about that, what are some of the top lead sources that you think agents should be really diving into with their prospecting over a lot of the other ones out there? Because there's tons of different lead sources that you can work. Some of them are paid, some of them are not. Some of them are, systems like Espresso Agent. Espresso Agent is the only thing I pay for to get business.
Sure.
And I close over 100 deals a year. So what are some of those top lead sources that agents should be focusing on right now in today's market?
I'll talk about Espresso Agent in just a second, but let me start with number one. Number one should be your database, and that database is divided into two different categories, right? You've got your past clients and sphere of influence, and you got the new category, right? The people that we don't have a relationship with yet, but we're trying to build a relationship, and that's where we'll talk about Espresso Agent and databases on that side. But first and foremost, if a new client came into my schedule and says, Chris, what's the first thing I need to do? The first thing I'm going to tell them is, who is your top 30 list of past clients and sphere of influence that are going to generate business for you, right? Because those are the people that already know you, love you, and want to support your business. But that's the number one fail. Most agents lose contact with their past clients. Most agents fail to stay in touch and provide value to sphere of influence. And in my opinion, sphere of influence and new prospects is the basis of our business, right?
Yeah.
You're going to get a new prospect. Let's say we were using Espresso Agent and we were calling around neighborhoods and we were circle prospecting. We got a new client. We got them under contract. We closed their transactions. They loved us. We give them a closing gift.
You do all the things right. Yeah.
We did everything right. 6 months down the road, we still haven't called them back. We haven't checked on them. We haven't developed that relationship any further.
Or in 3 years when they sell and we don't get the listing and people are thinking, well, why didn't they come back to me? Well, I mean, why would they come back to you? They probably forgot you by then.
Yeah. Remember that value word that we just talked about? How do you continue to provide value after the transaction? Right. And I ask a lot of people, like, why don't you stay in touch with your past clients? Because I don't want to be salesy.
Or it's been so long they've talked to them that they don't really know what to say.
Exactly. and not that this is a plug for coaching by any means, but that's why having somebody on your side to help you stay on top of your business is beneficial, right? Because we do go into it every day. We're like a firefighter. Like, what fire do we put out today, right? Yeah. What are we going to do today to develop business? What are we going to do to keep business? What are we going to do to continue building our business, right? So first and foremost, the number one lead source, in my opinion, is past clients and sphere of influence, right? Those people already love us, know us. They want to support our business, but we got to provide value.
You've already acquired them. What people don't, you have to look at things as like a dollar amount. You've already acquired that client. Why would you not want to continue keeping that client and getting referrals from them versus have to go out and buy or pay for something else to get a new client?
Well, number one, it's they got the paycheck and they're done, right?
Yeah.
But that's where we have to recondition that. So correct. I would say that would be the first category. That's an important lead source for us. But number two is prospecting for new business and finding new business.
Yes.
Right. And building that database, because without a database and a funnel of clients, we have nothing. Correct. Right. And I'll tell you, clients ask me all the time, Chris, I don't know where to find the new business at. That's probably one of the most difficult questions for real estate in today's world, right? How do I find new clients?
Yep.
Right. So when you think about your database, we kind of use this little formula called the 5-5-4. Right. It's pretty basic. Tom Ferry came out with this years ago. I'm not reinventing the wheel because I'll give credit to where it came from. But the 5-5-4 is simple. And that's how database and Espresso Agent comes into this, right? The 5-5-4 is simple. The first 5 conversations that you have today is past clients and sphere of influence. The next 5 that you're going to have are new people, people that you don't have a relationship with, people that are kind of cold leads that you really want to develop a relationship with and you want to get business from, but you don't know where to find it, right? Yep. So, we talk to clients all the time. Okay, where are we going to find those 5 new clients at? Right. And I'll ask them, where are you going to get them from? A lot of times they don't know. So we try to find a lead source for them. Let's say that they got a new listing and they're super excited about it. It's getting a lot of traction and stuff like that. Right. One of the things that I would suggest to that client is you need a circle prospect around that listing, right?
Yep.
Twofold, for you to develop more business, but
Mm-hmm.
also to let people around there know that that house has been listed so that they can maybe suggest somebody that might want to live in that neighborhood. But
Yep.
you can circle prospect around that neighborhood to get future business,
Yep.
right? And you ask yourself, Chris, well, what is circle prospecting, right? Shawna, if I said, Shawna, what are you going to do to circle prospect today? What would you say?
I would say, yes, I'm going to do that. I've actually already started sending out mailers. I've started sending out text messages. I started calling the neighbors in the area.
Mm-hmm. And how do we get that information?
I get it from Espresso Agent. That's what I'm saying is I only pay for one lead source, and it's really not so much a lead source. I mean, it is, but it's more like just data. There's so much data there.
Right. It's a tool.
Yeah.
Right. We need tools in our business, right?
Yep.
But for us to get those 5 new clients, we have to have the tool. We got to have the resource. But we also have to have an SOP that we follow that tells us what we do, right? We can't get into the database and say, oh, I'm going to call 100 people today around this listing. We call them one time and then we never follow up.
Which is what most people do.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that's where that final 4, the 554 comes in, is that's the follow-up, right? Maybe you made a bunch of calls yesterday and you didn't get as many people on the phone as you would like. We got to do some more follow-up, right?
I also think that it's okay to go away from calling. I know that everybody kind of has like their way of doing things, but I will say for me, I mean, my phone is it's the thing that makes me business. So I obviously try to answer as much as possible. Even I miss calls, or I get a lot of spam, or it goes to voicemail. And a lot of times what people don't realize but most people check their text messages. So I always tell people, if you're not able to get them on the phone, send them a text, send them a video text, even better.
100%. And think about today's day and age. We're busy.
Yes.
Right? I don't like to pick up the phone.
Nope.
Right? Because I know what my schedule's like and I'm busy all day long. Right? When I'm in work mode, I'm in work mode and I don't want to pick up the phone. Like if other people are at work during the time that you're making those phone calls. Back in the day, we used to make phone calls all the time. We're like telemarketers, right? Yep. But we also have to be innovative and we got to pivot again, right? And find new ways to connect and provide value, right? I can guarantee you if someone rang my phone right now, it would go to voicemail.
Yes.
Right. And I'm going to read the transcript, the text message afterwards. I'm not even going to listen to the voicemail. Right. So I tell clients all the time, don't even waste your time leaving a voicemail, because you're going to leave a message. They're going to hear it. They don't need to call you back.
Yep.
Right. Yep. What are other options that you can do to integrate with those people? Can you text them? Can you send them a quick video message? Absolutely.
Yep.
So I would say, database is important. And for espresso agents specifically, when we're circle prospecting, there's other features there, right? A lot of people don't understand how to use the tool enough, right?
Correct.
And that's where we come into play, you come into play, right? We can explain to them the benefits that we've had from the service, right? Yep. And how we've made money in our business, right? People always say, well, what about expireds? Shawna, let's talk about your career and how expireds worked for you.
I love expireds because it's, again, if you look at things from a numbers perspective, if you're looking at a way to be able to hit your goals, where's the system, or what's the lead source to give you the most amount of opportunity? And I think 100% is expireds, withdrawals, canceled. Because whenever I did the 100 listing appointment challenge, 6+ years ago, I looked up in my system, and just in the 12 months and span, it was like over 10,000 expireds hit my area. So I was like, for sure, I'm working that lead source. And then as I started working it, I started realizing that when I would go back and scrub them, I would look and see, and most of them would relist within, 30 days after that it cools down from them, being upset or whatever. So it's like, are you going to be the one they're going to relist with?
100%. And you know what the scary part is about expireds for a lot of people? They don't know.
It's just dealing with the rejection.
Yeah. They don't know how to handle rejection.
Yeah.
Right. But you got to provide value.
Yes.
Again, it goes back to value. You got to know in your heart what you want to say when you get on that phone.
Yes.
Right.
And you need to be different. You need to be different.
And you got to be different. How many other people are calling expireds? Right.
Yeah.
They're all looking for business. We're all trying to get a piece of that pie. And I think for a lot of people, it's what you say is what matters.
Yes, 100%. You can get them on the hook, and you can keep them on the phone just by changing the first sentence that comes out of your mouth.
And Shawna, it gets easier the more you do it.
It does. It does, because you get better at things that you keep doing on a regular basis.
Mm-hmm.
You're going to really suck at it at first. I tell people this all the time. You're going to suck really bad at first. I'm like, it's okay. You know, and I teach them kind of a kindergarten way of doing it. I'm like, I write down the objections.
Yeah.
I keep the what to say for real estate agents on my book, on my desk at all times. So I know what to say back if somebody has something. But we're in the land of Chat GPT. There really is no reason why somebody doesn't know how to overcome an objection.
Mm-hmm. And a lot of times they don't know how to ask for the business or get the appointment too.
Correct. Yes.
Right. You know, I could sit here and say, you know, Mr. Seller, I know why your house didn't sell.
Mhm.
There's 3 reasons it didn't sell. Number 1, it's overpriced. Number 2, the marketing looks terrible. And number 3, the curb appeal looks terrible.
Yeah.
If I could fix those 3 things for you, would you consider sitting down with me?
Yeah.
You know,
it's just changing the conversation.
It's showing value, changing the conversation, show them that you care about their property, because
Yes.
number 1, they listed the house at one point. They wanted to
So
sell
they
it.
saw the value in having an agent. They just got it wrong.
Absolutely. 100%. And don't get me wrong. Circle prospecting expireds are important, but there's a third lead source that's just as important. And we got to have a tool for it too. And in my opinion, it's open houses.
Yes.
And I've been talking to clients a lot about this over the last couple of weeks as we've been working on 2025 business plans.
Mm-hmm.
To me, open houses are important for 2 reasons, right? Because we can still host the open house, but we can also circle prospect around open houses using the same tool, right? To talk to the neighbors, to talk to the 100 houses around there. Because at the end of the day, if we don't share with people that there's a house for sale, it's not going to sell.
Well, and so something interesting happened when I went to was it Summit that just happened, where somebody had got on stage. I forgot her name now, but maybe it was Jill Biggs. I can't remember, but they were talking about how you should turn every single listing into 3 transactions. Yeah. And to be honest, I hadn't even thought about that. I knew that there were more opportunities when you have listings, because you can have the open houses, you can do the circle dialing, you can do, you know, the neighborhood walks, or, you know, whatever it is, you have more potential. But I wasn't really tracking, and I was noticing that I get all these listings. Right now I have like 23 listings, but I noticed that I wasn't getting more deals from those listings. And I knew that there was open house opportunities, but I wasn't doing the open houses because I can't do them on 23 listings on one person. But I was giving them to other people, and I don't know what they were doing with those. And so that's the thing, is like, there is so much opportunity when you have a listing. You can get signed calls, you can host open houses and get open house opportunities. You can circle prospect, you can do mailers, all kinds of different things. But now my goal is to get more than 1 deal from every single listing. And if I'm doing it perfectly, like I said, I should be getting 3 deals from every listing. So for me to hit my goal for 2025 is to do 200 transactions with myself and 2 agents. Sure. And for us to do that, if I just get the business that I have on the books for this year, if I just get that in 2025 and we get 3 more opportunities, we'll surpass that goal.
Yeah. And the crazy part with that is, and it's a perfect analogy, because at the end of the day, getting 3 transactions off 1 listing should be easy, right? If you have the right lead, the right systems and the right tools in place, it's easy, because number 1, we put it on the market, right? We're going to get signed calls. Number 2, we do open houses. We're going to get people that walk in there, right? We're going to get online leads. There's going to be lots of opportunities to get other clients off of it. But at the end of the day, the biggest part for me is this: in the market that we're in, most people are in a move-up market.
Yes.
Right. So let's say that I'm hosting an open house off of one of my listings. I'm going to get the listing sold, right? I'm going to meet another buyer that comes in there, and guess what? They probably have to sell their house, and then they're going to buy something else. So me hosting that open house, and I'm like, oh my God, I got to give up my Sunday or Saturday. I got to do a twilight. But look at the money potential.
Yes.
And
look
the
at,
spiral.
you nailed it on the head. If you tie a dollar amount to the activity, one, that tells you what you should be doing in your business versus outsourcing your business. That was the first thing, one of the first things I did when I started thinking about it from a business standpoint. But for me, when I started doing this business, at the time, my average commission check was like $8,000 to $10,000. So I just used $10,000 as the number for that activity. And my goal was to get 1 deal from every single open house. I put my business on open houses and expireds. And I also had a goal of setting an appointment every single day. And I looked at it as, if I didn't, then I lost $10,000 that day. I also wake up every morning understanding that I'm unemployed until somebody hires me that day. And who's going to hire me? Am I going to get a new listing? Am I going to get a new buyer? Am I going to get a new referral? All those different things. And I think that's the problem that people do, is they don't tie money to it. So therefore, a lot of times when they don't feel like doing it, they just don't do it. But if you tied a money making activity to it, and you said, this activity right here is going to make me at least $10,000, that will absolutely change your attitude towards that lead source and the effort that you put in. Because open houses, I 100% agree with you, is the best lead source out there. but it is 100% you get out of it what you put into it.
Yeah.
And so I have agents all the time that want to host my open house. I'm like, that's great. But one, they don't have systems and processes in place. So you should have that, which we do. And they'll be like, well, I didn't get any deals. And you'll hear people say, well, open houses don't work. Show me your systems and processes. And I'll tell you right now why they're not working for you. Because I did an open house for the 2 agents that came on my team a couple weeks ago. And we had to work 3 times as hard to get the small amount of traffic that came in because the buyers are down right now. But out of that, I got 4 potential sides. So don't tell me that open houses don't work. You have to learn how to talk to people when they come in, how to ask the right questions. Again, it's just script role play that you need to do. And then being able to turn every deal into another deal. So you can absolutely do it. If you're not getting success from open houses, I will tell you right now, you're not doing them correctly.
You're right. And it's funny that you say that, because I'll share just a quick little story. When I first got in this business, I was working for a new construction builder, right? And I would go to the open houses every Saturday and Sunday. I was there from 1 to 4, 1 to 5, 1 to 6. I would literally, this was a rookie mistake I made. I would literally hide in the house, hoping that nobody would walk in the door, because I didn't want to talk to them.
Yeah.
And I'm like, I don't know what
you're just wasting your time.
Right. And I'm just like, if they don't see me, they won't come in. Maybe they'll just go walk around outside. And then one day I'm sitting there with my coach at the time, and the coach said to me, why are you even going?
Yeah.
And I'm like, what do you mean? I have
Just to
to
say
go.
you're doing it.
And I'm like, She was like, when's the last time you got a paycheck? And I'm like, oh,
Yeah.
it's been a while.
Yeah.
And she said, Chris, if you don't learn to provide value and talk to these clients, you need to find another career.
Yeah.
And that was the day that I said,
you have to know how to talk.
That's the day I said to myself, I am committed to learning how to talk to these clients.
Yes.
I am committed 100% to learning scripts, dialogues, objection handling, because that's what's made me the money that I've made today.
And you'll find out that once you start working certain lead sources, you're like getting the same 3 or 4 to 5 objections. And if you can overcome those, and trust me, if you're overcoming those in a different way than other people, if you can tell that you're not reading from a script like most people are when they're on the phone, you will have so much better success with people. You have to ask the right questions to get your foot into the door.
And listen, prospecting is great, but you know what's more important, in my opinion? Tracking and measuring. Tracking and measuring.
Yeah.
Right. And if you're running your business like a business and you're not tracking the business, you're not running like a business. Right.
Correct.
One of the things that Tom Ferry, my mentor, someone who's changed my life, right, said to me is, Chris, if you're not tracking your business, somebody else is taking your business.
Yeah.
If you don't know where your business is coming from, you don't have any business.
Well, and you can't prove on something that you don't even know. You have to. You and I both know that the things that you track are the things that you improve.
Yeah. How do you know what to invest in your business if you're not tracking and measuring what works?
Yeah.
You know, just
talking about investing is like, I know we're getting short on time, but one of the things about investing is you need to know like where your lead sources are coming from. So I know when I first met with Chris, I've been with another real estate coach, and I got with him and he said, okay, how many lead sources do you have? And I was like, I got this, like I have 13. And you were like, and we went through them and you go, what are your top 4? And the top 4 far outweighed the other 9 other lead sources that was causing me a lot of time and headache and pain. And you said to me, nope, we're not doing 13 lead sources anymore. You're going to go all in on those 4. And that's something else that I learned this past year that was really drove home, was that we don't need to get more lead sources. We need to go deeper into the leads that we're already working in, the type of lead sources that is working for our business. Yeah. And so one of the things I will tell you is, if you are not leaning towards trying to get more listings because you can get more opportunities from listings than you can buys, then you are missing out on a huge opportunity for you in your business. And if you are looking to get more listings in your business, Espresso Agent has partnered with listingleads.com. And I will tell you right now, that is a really good lead source that my team and I are using on a daily basis. It's pretty much a set it and forget it. It will tell you exactly what you need to do on what days, who you need to be sending it out to, all of that stuff. It takes the guesswork out of everything. It's not a lot of money. It's one of the lowest lead sources I've seen with the biggest amount of return. If you're not using that system, I would highly recommend that you look into that.
Absolutely. And we talk about that on a weekly basis, right?
Yeah.
How do we use the tools that best benefit us and make us the most money?
That's right. That's right. Well, it was so amazing to have Chris on here. I get the pleasure of seeing him every week. He kicks my butt every week. Every week I'm taking notes because I'm still learning stuff. He's amazing. So if you guys want to reach out to him, how would they get in touch with you, Chris, if somebody wanted to reach out to you?
Yeah, so you can find me on Facebook or Instagram at ChrisFox_business coach. And my telephone number direct to me is 502-489-7806.
I love it. Thank you so much for your time. I know you're super busy.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much.
All right. We'll see you soon. See you guys.
Bye.